Welcome y'all back to the Meet the Afroballers podcast, season 2. And as promised, we got past, the present, and the future joining us. And my guests today, like I said, they're always special, but this one is extra special. This young lady is a native of Montreal, Quebec. She is a rising star in basketball. Just know that whenever you hear her name, if you haven't already, you heard it first. She's currently playing as a guard at Notre Dame. And at just 19, she has accomplished an amazing list of feats. She's already led Team Canada to a bronze medal in the 2023 FIBA U19 Women's World Cup, made her mark on a senior national team. She's a standout from the time she was really a kid. Then in high school, she's earned MVP honors, one of the top recruits in her class, and she really continues to impress in college and now right here in the Olympics, okay? With basketball deep in her blood, she's been influenced by her parents and her brother, who you will find out about later, but really it's about her, okay? But she represented Team Canada here at the Olympics. I have to say, hearing your story, before I even get it right, I'm going to get this right. It's Cassandre.
Yes.
Okay.
Cassandre. You did
Cassandre
good.
Prosper.
Yes, a little
Hey,
French
girl,
accent.
hey.
Huh?
I know. I was like, we're in Paris. Let me get it correct. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
How many, like, growing up, tell me how many times people call you Cassandra.
Oh my gosh. As many times as like it became my pet peeve. Like literally every time people ask me what's your pet peeve, I'm like, don't call me Cassandra. I'm like, there's no A in my name. It's an
a
E.
You get what I'm
Yes.
saying? No, I'm big, especially being of African origin, and anybody who has a name with some sort of heritage to it, I'm really big on like, get it right.
Yep.
Get it right, because there's a lot in the name. I think it's a lot of respect. But it's a beautiful name, so you
Thank
got it right.
you.
But you said I can call you Cass, though,
You
right?
can call me Cass.
I'm about to say we've made
Yes.
nicknames and all of that.
Good,
Yeah,
yep.
we're biff. It's okay.
Yep.
But welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you feeling today?
I feel great.
Good,
Blessed. I
good.
feel so blessed.
Amen. I know I hear that. Now, look, obviously, you are somebody who I am so excited to see in the future. Obviously, the women's sports space across the board, but specifically for basketball is booming. And I think that it's good now. We're just getting started because of talents like you. But before we get started into what's to come, let's go back to the very, very, very beginning. Okay. So you come from a family that has a rich, rich basketball legacy, right? From your mom to your dad to your brother and you. But then, at a young age, you were also a standout in a lot of different sports, right? Track and the host. What about basketball made you decide, like, you know what, this is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like you said, I was into track, and that was actually my favorite sport. I still play basketball on the side, but track's my favorite sport. And I was like, I'm going to do track because my whole family play basketball.
I
My
was going to
brothers
say,
play
did you feel
basketball.
like you wanted to deviate from the norm per se?
Literally.
Yeah.
I was like fighting it so bad. I was
Yeah.
like, and then I just came to a point where I was like, track, I was finishing like third. I wasn't first anymore. I was like, you know what, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to play basketball.
Yeah.
And, having my parents who've played their whole life and, watching them play senior league.
Yeah.
And then my brother, obviously, who's been an example my whole life. I was just like, I love this sport, and I have great people in front of me that have done it. So
Got the roadmap, you know what I'm saying?
literally.
Yeah.
I just had to put in the work, and then they just show me the way.
I love
And,
that.
Yeah, the
I
best
love
way they
that.
could.
Now, look, I think you said something along the lines of playing multiple sports as a child was important to you to avoid hyper focusing super early. And we live in a day and an age now where talk about hyper focusing, kids are specializing at like 3,
Yeah, no, that's
right?
crazy.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think, honestly, playing different sports, it was the best thing. I played track, obviously, and then I also did volleyball in high school,
Yeah.
which when I look back, I think about like, I was just talking about this the other day with my friend. I was like, I'm literally like blocking shots, and I can block them because I learned how to smash and how to time the ball. And I was like, this is so crazy. because,
Transferable
like,
skills.
yeah, like
Yeah.
even playing soccer, like your footwork is so different, and
Yeah.
you can transfer that into basketball, especially being tall and all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, as long as you can go playing at like as many sports as
you
possible,
can.
and then like going elite at like 1 or 2 sports, obviously when you get older. But growing up, that was the best thing.
Now, was that something that like you arrived to on your own, or was this because you just had amazing parents who knew that it was best for you to kind of have a foot in a little bit of places, and then, I mean, or was it a little bit of both?
Yeah, I mean, they wanted me to play basketball for sure. I'm not even gonna lie. I keep telling people that I think they brainwashed me, but
Hey, look, they must have known something. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Yeah, yeah,
but they were like, we want you to find your passion. So
yeah,
whichever way, however you want to do it, we're gonna give you the best coaches, the
yeah,
best support possible. But
yeah.
they really put me in different sports so I could figure out what I really like.
I love it. Shout out to mom and dad who are in the studio here, by the way, but who still making an amazing support team. Now, okay, so look, so obviously you went into high school. So let's talk about early enrollment at Notre Dame, right? So for people who don't understand that you're like one of two players in the program to ever do this,
Yes.
help us understand. Like, okay, so coming into college early, talk to me. What made you do that and how?
Yes. So I had the opportunity to academically because I was so coming into Capitol Courts, which is where the academy I went to, and then the school, which is Corinne Wilson. They really made sure that I could, like, I was taking grade 11 classes in grade 10, just like grade 10 and grade 11 classes in grade 10. So I would have the opportunity to when it came to grade 12. And then in grade 11, we won as a team. I got like MVP, All Canadian. I did everything I wanted to do basketball wise, and then I
Run it, girl. Don't hold it back now. Run them accolades because you did that, okay?
Yeah, I did.
love
I
it.
did.
Yeah.
And it was just like I had everything I wanted to do in high school, and it came down to I have the opportunity to graduate early, and then amazing schools that still wanted me early. So I'm like, this is just a way to challenge myself even more. Like, why not go for it?
I love that.
So I did.
I love
yeah.
that. So look, obviously, we talk about the term student athlete, and there's a side of you clearly that's like the student side really, really importantly. Like, talk a little bit about why that personally means a lot to you, right? So right now, obviously, so my understanding is you're majoring in business and psychology still, right?
Yes.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about why or your passion for education.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, growing up, my parents always put an emphasis in education. If you don't do good in your exams, you're not going to practice. Like that's always how it's
Period.
it's
I want my
been.
daughter's back there. I'm gonna bring her back so you can run that back again one more time. 'Cause, yep, no, we don't do that.
No,
We don't do that.
It's like you're not going to practice.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah.
So I think when it came to college, it's like I'm in a great university like Notre Dame, and I know that after basketball, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I'm gonna be my own boss somewhere. So I'm like business for sure.
Don't give me telling because I'm like Dallas Wings. Nah, I'm messing.
So then, and then psychology is just I thought it's very interesting how the mind works, and then eventually with like managing a team and managing a business, I will have to like understand people.
Yeah.
So I just think they go hand in hand, and it makes my classes more diversified, and then just like business and math and all those kind of
It's
stuff.
not just one track minded. You have a little bit of sociology and
Yes.
people, have a little bit of numbers and the quantitative stuff. So a little bit of
Exactly.
balance.
Yep.
My kind of girl. I love that. I love that. Okay, so look, obviously you overcame or endured an injury that kind of sidelined you for a little bit. You know what I mean? Talk to us a little bit about what that does to an athlete.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely hard. It's something that you have to take a step back and be like, I can't do what I love right now. The thing that helps me cope, I can't do it. And honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened to me, which is crazy to think. Like 2 months ago, or not 2
Yeah.
months, maybe like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It's just I would have never said that.
Yeah.
And then now going back, it's like you take time to really reflect internally and just grow. Like my whole life, it's been about I'm a basketball player. People ask me, well, "Who are you?" I'm a basketball player. I'm a basketball player. And then through that time, I realized that I love this sport and it's what I love to do, but it's not who I am.
That's what you do and not who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not who I am.
Yeah.
It's something that I love, and just like being able to become a better teammate. I get to watch the game, look at the game differently from the sideline, and I get to just be a better teammate to my teammates and just grow as a person outside of just basketball, which has helped me tremendously become the athlete that I am now and getting to the Olympics.
Well, they say everything in its perfect time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Everything in its perfect time. But I think that also speaks a lot to being able to adopt that perspective, right? Because it's like it could either frustrate you and it could challenge you in a negative way, but it could challenge you, it could change you, and you can find the good in it. And that then propels you forward, obviously, because it's not over, right? It's not over till you choose for it to be over.
It feels over, but
it
it's
feels
not.
over,
Yeah.
but how it feels and what it actually is are two entirely different things, you know?
Exactly.
That's called growing up, girl. I love that.
Girl,
I love that for
I
you.
tell you, I grew up
Fast, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so look. So Team Canada qualifies for the 2024 Olympics, and you're
Yes.
getting a chance to represent, I think at the youngest age ever, represent the country on the biggest stage. Like, what do you think were some of the key factors behind this for you? But also, like, I asked this question of everybody who sat in that seat because, quite frankly speaking, it's a different answer every single time. But putting on that jersey,
Yeah.
hearing the anthem, being a part of all of the festivities as they are, like, sum up that feeling for me.
Yeah, representing your country never gets old.
Yeah.
I think when you think about the Olympics, it's like it's a lifelong like journey to
Yeah.
get there. It's the best of the best, and even like coming into Paris, it's like you feel the energy. It's just like greatness,
Yeah.
and being among like greatness
Yeah.
and being able to compete with and against greatness, that's what's truly special.
Yeah.
When it comes to like Canada and being able to represent Montreal, Quebec, where I'm from,
Yeah.
that's what's the most special. I get to like even like our first game which is against France, it's like the crowd is crazy. I'm like, this is amazing. The crowd is crazy. I hear Canadian anthem and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just here representing my parents, my
Yeah.
family, the people back home, you know,
Mhm.
my like Notre Dame, even Notre Dame, because like when you think about it, like they brought me to being the player that I am here.
Mhm.
And then Team Canada, just both of them working together, especially through my injury,
Mhm.
that like just being able to, for me, it meant a lot this year because I wasn't able to play last season.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
just got to make it to the Olympics. Like,
Yeah.
that's my dream. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so being here is,
It felt good. And of
oh, it felt
course,
so
you
good.
have Natalie, who's another,
Yes.
a product of the program. So you have family within family.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about, being in that space, obviously, with, somebody who's familiar with Notre Dame program. Like, how is that camaraderie and, like, sisterhood between
Yeah.
y'all?
I mean, first of all, she's a great leader.
Yeah.
She's been in Canada basketball for a long time. And, you know, like I see her sometimes during the year. She comes for games and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's so crazy to think that, like,
You're now
program.
teammates.
I know. Now we're teammates. She just had a baby.
I
I'm like, wow,
know.
this is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like how the world like goes around. Even my coach at Notre Dame, she used to coach her as like an assistant. So
Yeah.
it's just like good people. You just have so much support around you, and
Yeah.
having her
Yeah.
going to Notre Dame and then Team Canada is just great.
And we're gonna get back to Coach Ivy here in a minute because that's
Okay.
somebody who obviously I want to shine a light on and give her flowers. I'm a
Yes.
friend and to many of her products, and I'm just like, this program. Oh my gosh! Like, what is the secret sauce? What is the secret juice? But so talk to us a little bit about like some key moments. Like, I mean, you've been in Paris. Like, gosh, there's one, it's Paris, but two, it's the Olympics. Like, what have been some moments where you're like, oh my gosh, pinch me, this is happening right now for real? Like,
Yeah, the first moment I would say when we got to Lille, like we were getting into the village.
yeah,
We just see Giannis walking by, and oh my gosh, I was like, this is crazy. Like literally, I'm
it's
in the
so
Olympics.
cool.
Like just walking around just
Yeah.
for fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is for real, for
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah,
Definitely hearing the anthem for the first time,
Yeah.
putting on that jersey, seeing the Olympic symbol on the
Yeah.
jersey,
Yeah.
getting into the venue. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love the colors for Paris 2024. Like turquoise, purple.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was speaking with somebody the other day, and I said, "This colorscape, especially on the basketball court,
Yes.
right, is beautiful in the
So
way that it allows everybody's jersey to really pop. Like,
Mhm.
it pops, but it's not distracting.
Yeah.
So we're like this on the same page. It's so
yes,
cute.
I know.
It's girly in a way, but it's
Yeah,
like still
but
masculine. It's not like too
yes.
girly.
I love it. Yeah. And then just like seeing like people as like WNBA people that you see just I've been watching them
Yeah.
growing up and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and they're just there in front of
Yeah.
me. That's just like moments that you don't forget, and just
Yeah.
knowing that you're among the best again, and you can get there, and you're there.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, ultimately, we fell a little short of the gold medal and the goal. However, how do you reckon with that? Like, how do you, at the buzzer when you know that, like you guys are
This
out
is
of the
it.
Olympics, this is
Mhm.
it. Walk me through that thought process. Like, where are you already into the future? Are you taking a moment to be like, you know what, I'm here now? Tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, it's definitely heartbroken. Like you're heartbroken, especially when you see like all the veterans that it's probably their last Olympics, and that's where it's like, damn, like we couldn't do that for you. But it's still the Olympics. I look around and I see my family in the stands, and it's like I couldn't imagine being here. I actually have imagined it, but I couldn't imagine it this way.
Yeah.
And so you just reflect on being like, you know what, for me, it's like I'm 19, I'm at the Olympics, and I know I'll have a chance to do better. I'm learning from this. I'm going to grow. You know, my brother sent me a message like, this is not it. Like, you get learn from this, and then the next time you're going to know for next time.
You segue this for me perfectly. Obviously, I wanted to double back on your relationship with your brother, who, you know, I obviously familiar with as a Dallas Mavericks, you know,
Yes.
family member, but it's been a pleasure to have Olivier, Cassandre Prosper,
Yeah, there you
aka
go.
Omax,
Yeah.
you know, but y'all's relationship from the get-go, from y'all, what's the age difference between y'all?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3
And it's
years.
just y'all two.
That's it.
That's
I
it.
wanted a younger sibling, but I heard it said
Mom
no.
said that's it. I feel them. I have a boy. I have a girl. Done.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
That's what they
saying?
keep saying.
I love that. But talk us a little bit about y'all's childhood. You know what I mean? Like 3 years is not a small, but it's a big difference. But y'all are just incredibly close. Has it
Yeah.
always been that way?
It really has. I feel like growing up, my parents always put an emphasis on like, you guys, that's all
Y'all
you got.
That's it.
Exactly. That's all you got.
Yeah.
And then just he's always taken it upon himself to like be an example for me. So even I used to get mad. I'm like, why are you my third parent? Like, I already got two. And he's just so protective. But like, just watching him grind and his work ethic, his discipline, like on and off the court, I just saw him as like, this is like, and it's like, he's my idol at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just love him for like all the work that he's put in for himself, but knowing that he has a younger sister watching
Who's
him.
also watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he does it.
I love that. I love that. And I asked that because obviously in his rookie year with the Mavericks, got an opportunity to, you know what I mean, go into something that's incredibly crazy.
Yeah.
You know, which is an incredible franchise, but then also just came off a season where they went all the way to the NBA Finals, and obviously we didn't come home with what we needed to come home with this time. But do you feel like a lot of the experience or the feedback he gave you, especially right now, came from what he just went through with like being in the NBA Finals and just having a little bit of a disappointing ending?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I feel like his past year with the Mavs, it has tremendously like helped me just being able to watch him and see his growth through like a rookie year in the NBA and me not being able to play last season too. It was just amazing seeing him play and live out his dream. And then that just fulfilled my heart because I'm like, you know, I don't like, if you're doing you, I'm good, you know.
I love that.
Yeah, he's
I
just
love
amazing.
that. I love that. I love that. Big bro, I'm about to say, you hear a lot about like little sister, big brother relationships. You know what I mean? But it's interesting to see when you guys are literally doing the same thing, right?
Yes.
And that sometimes they're just protective to be protective of the little sister, but you know, you guys are playing basketball. He can speak exactly to your experience.
Exactly.
So I'm sure that adds a very, very special like strand of DNA to your relationship, you know?
Yeah, I feel
love
like
that.
I feel like we're even like closer now because we're going through like, especially when he was in college, we were going through the same like kind of things, and we've always been close. But now it's like we're both adults and we're both going through like growing together and
careers, professional
Yes,
careers, you know what I
exactly.
mean? Really seeing your dreams as you were children come to
Yes,
fruition.
yeah.
It's like having a partner in dreaming.
Literally,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And now
Ah.
he trusts my judgment because I'm a little older, so you know,
I
that's
love
good
that.
too.
Right, so now it's not like the
He's
little
tr-
sister. You know what I
yes.
mean? It's just like we're peers almost in a sense.
Yes,
I love that. I
exactly.
love that. I love that. Now, so you're balancing college basketball. You're balancing a pretty rigorous academic career, international competition. Girl, so like how do you de-stress? What does decompression look like to you? Because obviously right now there's a very concerted effort and discussion around mental health and wellness when it comes to athletes, and especially in college, and especially, you know, because everything is hyper competitive right now, right? It's like, how do you stay sane?
I've really learned to just be where I'm at. Like, if I'm in the gym and I'm working, I'm focused on that. If I'm at home and I'm chilling, I'm watching Netflix, I'm gonna just enjoy watching Netflix. I think a lot of times, like, talking to my parents helped me. Having, like, I have a really close teammate at Notre Dame, Hannah Hidalgo, and just, like,
right.
being, like, having someone that is so close to you there, it helps you just, like, disconnect from basketball and from school. And honestly, you gotta find, like, pockets where it's, like, it's not all you have. Like, basketball school is not all you have. It's not who you are. And just like honestly journaling, stuff like that, reading a lot, just getting my mind off of just the game, the game, the game. Yeah.
Somebody told me the other day, I thought it was really good advice. They were like, you have to be okay with having things that are undone. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yes.
have to just be okay with, like, I'm doing nothing right now. And that's actually just fine. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Especially in a world
exactly.
that's like, go, 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 go. Well,
Hmm.
because let's talk about it. I think, one of, with my young daughter, one of the things that when she talks to pro athletes all the time, they're like, rest is the best form of injury prevention.
Mm. Especially, yeah, girl, I understand that. Especially with my injury,
Yeah.
it's all like overuse,
Yeah.
like overdoing it. And so you just rest
Yeah.
is so important.
Take care
Just,
of you so you can take care of you,
yep.
So, okay, look, you have already made such an incredible, contribution to the game of basketball, right? And, I know that some people shy away from the word role model and whatever have you because, everybody has their own journey, but it's okay to also just pave the way for just it's okay to accept the fact that, you walk the walk that a lot of young women want to walk.
Mhm.
But what kind of legacy, even at this point, because we'll talk about professional aspirations and whatever have you, but up until this point, what do you hope the legacy that you've left, that for the young girls in Canada or the young girls who watch you across the world,
Mhm.
what do you hope that they take away from you the most?
Yeah. In everything I do, I just want them to see themselves in me. Like I want them to see me on the Olympic stage and be like, this is a girl from Montreal. I can do it.
Mhm.
You know, I just want to be like someone that involves in like just that the future generations can really look up to by my like actions on the court, but off the court, mostly off the court, honestly, because
Mm.
on the court, that's like that to me, that's not the most important. Like my personality off the court and
Yeah.
who I am and how I interact with people and how I just want to be like myself off the court. I want them to know that like you could be yourself and that's perfectly right. Like
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
And then just to have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing I think with young girls is like they don't believe in themselves. There's a lot of outside, especially now with social media, which is another story.
Girl, TikTok and every talk and the
Yeah.
gram and all the things, the books and
Yes.
everything in
Oh my
between.
gosh.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
so important to have like a great like support system, but at the end of the day, all you need is you.
yeah,
Like you're enough
yeah,
to get there.
yeah.
And you got to just trust yourself and make sure that the people around you know you and want the best for
Yeah.
you. Totally.
And so on that note, so you're obviously a business major, so understand that right now, again, we're seeing an unprecedented boom in the growth of women's sports, right?
Hmm.
One thing that I've noticed, especially raising a young daughter, is, and this has come to surface as I think about like NIL and things of that nature
Yes.
specifically, right? There's this notion and tendency to protect young girls from socials, right?
Hmm.
Because to your point, it has a lot of documented adverse effects on their well-being, their social wellness, peer
Yep.
pressure, all types of negative things that come from it. However, from an athlete branding standpoint, this is also one of the ways by which a lot of companies and brands
Absolutely.
are able to compensate you for the followings that you've been able to build, that you're able to share your highlights on. It's obviously been a scouting tool forever, right? You
Hmm.
look at platforms, like the Overtimes of the world and the House of Highlights and whatever have you. And yes, some of those have like women's basketball components, women's sports components, but like you don't really see a lot of those specifically for young girls, right?
Hmm.
What is your thought on establishing like a healthy relationship, just understanding the business of sports
Yeah.
with putting your highlights on socials and building a social media following from a young age so that by the time you are in high school, by the time you are in college, you're able to use that for like
Absolutely.
NIL deals and things of that nature, and not shy away from the fact that like girls are meant to be protected and are meant to be private, and like
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying with that,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I understand what you mean. I
yeah,
think like my brother told me the other day, he's like, use social media, but don't let it use you. I think we just have to put more like education on social media
mm,
for that, so that way it could be used in that sense and not to like degrade young
mhm,
women and
mhm,
young girls.
mhm,
I feel like it's a great tool. Even now, I'm thinking like it's a great tool. Social media is a great tool, but we gotta just make sure that it's used that way, not in a way where it's like you're just scrolling and then you see all these highlights and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I not in a highlight? Well, there's so many other factors that involve, like, that's a highlight. A highlight is all the good stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And sometimes people don't really understand that, especially when you're young and you're just watching and you just want to, you have goals and dreams. Like, I didn't get social media until my last year of high school. So like I didn't really see all of that, but I could see how it affected my teammates in high school. And I was like, what do you mean this girl, you don't want to play against her because all these highlights? Like, I don't know her because I'm not on it. But, you know, so I feel like now it's just a way you could like use it, you could promote yourself, you could make money as you should. And only if like you understand how it
The
works.
value and how it works,
Exactly,
right? Absolutely.
yeah.
So let's talk the W a little bit. Look, because you know it's a great space and it's a great time to be a WNBA fan. It's a great time for the W. Is that where you hopeful that you're headed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That's been my dream forever.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I'm like, I want to make the WNBA, but I want to dominate. Like, that's just the biggest. I feel like I've been saying this. I was like,
Say that one more time. Just say
I
that.
wanna
Just look over there and say that one more time.
dominate WNBA. Okay. Yeah.
We'll run that back here
Yeah.
very shortly. I also, and I think that it's a beautiful, beautiful time with the expansion of teams.
Yeah.
We're hearing that Canada might be in the running for a team. How crazy would that be for you to have that?
They actually are. They're having a team in Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, crazy, amazing.
Yeah.
I've been saying this. You could ask my dad. I've been saying this for like 3 years. I'm like, Toronto, when they get a team, I'm getting on that team for sure.
I think you just
I'm just putting it into
You know, I love that. I love that. I can't wait for us to run this back and be like, oh my, it was meant to be. So it was written, so it was.
Yeah.
I love that. Who are your current, let's run through your Mount Rushmore of WNBA players. Like, what does that look like for you?
I would say definitely Jewel Lloyd. She's
Shout out to another Notre Dame product. Yeah.
Yes. Jill's just been such a great role model to me. I think, like, I know her through Steve Pratt, which is where she played, who she played for before, and just, like, she's always there to help the future generation. I definitely look up to Stewie.
Yeah.
I think her game is very similar to mine. Yeah. And she's always, been a great player since college, watching her at UConn.
Dominant player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Since UConn. Just watching, like Asia, just like she's a monster, like
On and off
watching
the
it on the
court,
Olympics,
like,
I'm like, wow.
It makes it look so easy, I think, is a thing too. You know what I mean?
Literally.
Yeah.
I think Caitlin,
Yeah.
She's in.
Let's talk a little bit about the Caitlin Clark effect and Angel Reese and that storyline as it's been rolling throughout the season. Like, why do you think that there's this notion that there's not enough room for more than one, right? Like, it's been they're both doing their thing. They're both, outstanding in their own ways, but it's been contentious in a way. Is this just a media portrayal? Like, from a player standpoint, how do you look at that relationship or that storyline?
Yeah, I think both. I think it's the media because I see both of them and I'm like, they are growing the game. They are growing the game like beautifully. Like you think about just being able to make money. They have done that. They are growing the game outside of just the court. They're like, I don't know, Angel's doing like modeling, all that stuff.
Everything.
Exactly. And even like bringing in like charter flights, like they are, and I understand like the veterans' point of view of like this should have been happening years ago. I agree with that, but they're bringing so much attention to women's game, and I think it's the right way to, bring eyes. We're get paid more, stuff like that because
What's good for them is good for everybody.
Exactly.
Right.
So I see it that way. I think, they've just grown the game tremendously in college and now in the league, and I'm grateful
to be a part of this generation, really.
Yes,
right.
To walk in their path.
I love that. I love that. We got to wrap this up here in a second, but I want to ask you, of course, you've credited your coach, a woman who I adore as well, Coach Neil Ivey, for helping you prepare yourself not only for sport, but for the world. If you had to just give a couple words to Coach Ivey and she was watching this somewhere right now, what would you say?
Gosh,
what makes her so special?
I would just say thank you. She came to watch me in Lille for the Olympics. Our relationship has always been amazing. It's been the same since the recruiting process, but like, she's a great person when like our relationship grew when I was injured, and I wasn't doing anything for her on the court. It was really just like me and her because we have such a good connection. She's just a great person. She wants you to be the best person you can be outside of the court. Yeah. It's not just about on the court and what you can do for the program. It's really who you are outside of that. And I love her so
Wow,
much.
sir. My namesake. I'm always like, I love that. Cass, honestly, it's a pleasure to have this conversation right now because I know that in the future, very near future, we're going to be looking back on this and be like, look, we forecasted the greatness in the place where greatness has gathered. And it's such a pleasure to welcome you into the Afroballers family. Absolutely know that we're here for you. Can't wait to share your stories, your highlights, your journey, and be a part of it. Thank you so much for your time. And best of luck on your upcoming season. And we just can't wait to see all the amazing things that you do.
Thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome. Now, if the viewers want to keep in touch with you on social media, let them know how to do that.
Yeah, you can follow me at Cass Prosper. That's
Easy,
it.
nice
Yeah,
and
it's
easy.
literally easy. TikTok too.
TikTok too.
That's it,
I'll be
though.
watching those too, girl. I'll be on it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Thank y'all so much for joining us right here for season 2. Meet the Afroballers cast Prosper. You heard it first. You heard the name. Go look her up. Keep in touch. The future